was up to like 7 in the morning, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So I got about 7.5 hours of sleep. Yeah. So 2 days ago, I was working, went to an office, was trying to recruit everybody to put pressure on our boss because I had, been nicely telling him that he's worth 10x and all his people that are gathering because there's money to be made, right? Any company, there's an amount of money that can be made when you take a pyramidal look at the ledger and you see the top down trickle of the economics. If you're at the bottom and you're not feeling like the juice is worth the squeeze, this is how I go about it. I try to encourage everybody on the low quadrant to encourage the guy in the high quadrant, to encourage the people of his part of the pyramid, to encourage the way up, to make it possible for whatever quadrant we're at to get more. And then explain like the more that people get, because it's all performance based, right? It's all performance based. And the particular business that it's in, it's it's quite, it's politics. It's politics. There's different political measures that we have people sign for. You've got um, different initiatives to help issues that are deeply embedded in society, that are causing a lot of chaos in people's lives and lack of personal basic prosperities. We're talking your basic prosperities that you need just to be able to, stay centered as a human being. Um, so that's what we do, right? And um, there's different aspects and angles to come at politics, and all are right in their own perspective, in their own time, space, and all can work together to come to everybody making more prosperity. But people are only looking at their position at the time and not the bigger picture. So nobody ever agrees. Uh, I'm not saying that the system is inherently evil, because it's how you look at it. Some people believe that it is. Some people believe that it is there to help us. It's about how there are some issues with the system, 100%, because a lot of people don't consent to a lot of the different initiatives. It's kind of just like strong armed through our taxes. But what I do is I collect signatures from people, whether it's to cut taxes, create certain taxes for certain people, any angle of politics that you would have heard of that has to do with the financial issues of what that regular everyday motherfucker has to deal with. I've spun it out there, and I've collected signatures from the people that agree with it. And how it works is when the people agree with it, and it goes to a vote. And, if I had been taking care of my mind, body, and spirit better, and I had, just been more content, I could say, if I was more content with my life and I felt good, and I had my own space and I could shower all the time and I wasn't so easily distracted by my phone and learning new knowledge all the time, which I'm not really learning because I'm having a hard time maintaining my memories because I consume so much. So the more you consume, your energy is being, you hold on one thing, you get with that, you hold on 1,000 things, your energy's going. And how my brain works is just stimulation. I'm stimulating my brain. I'm stimulating my brain because I'm not really truly happy with what I'm doing. And when I sit with myself, I feel my body in pain. My body is in pain. So I'll just keep watching, keep distracting myself from the pain that's in my body that I had from the fucking, well, the lawsuit didn't go through, but I need the fucking lawsuit to go through. But the job that I got fucking injured at. And I've been dealing with a lot of rage from how I was treated from that situation, and really just how, like, fuck this guy, he ain't nobody type of motherfucker, how they view me. And it gave me a lot of rage. And I feel that as well at my job when I'm out there petitioning. A lot of people, they'll just ignore you. They'll assume they know what it is you have. A lot of them just don't want to be talked to, and they'll just respond to you because people just don't know how to fucking talk to people. They don't know how to interact with people. I don't feel like people know how to really do, like, reaching out to every single person that passes by in any given geographical location, in any energy space, in any culture or continent. You're dealing with all the different possibilities of souls and how they perceive life and what they care about. They could be selfish, they could be caring about society, they could see the solutions for society different. And we're in an emotionally charged environment in America. So it's more and more difficult for this job to even seem to make sense to me. If I was at peak mental stability, peak, which really has to do with my body. Like, if your body is at peak stability, you can transmute and alchemize energy quite efficiently. And that's the issue that I've run into. Now, if I choose an environment that just uplifts me, then that would be a healing environment. But I'm the one trying to create a signal to have people flock to me so that they can sign the initiative so that I can collect on each signature. But the position in the job, it's not, I mean, yes, it's doing a good service for the public. It's actually preventing a lot of chaos if these initiatives would go through, but the ways that it is that they're done, it's all done by voting. So that's the thing. So technically it's not a bad deal. It's all done through voting and people that show up to vote. If people don't realize that, but again, some of these initiatives come through taxation, and nobody likes being taxed. Everybody is really about consent, but some people do not have an issue with being taxed because they're more maternal, and they're like, let's just solve these issues, let's take care of each other. And that's the battle. That's the fucking battle um, that takes place in people's decisions because people are struggling. And a lot of people have a lot. We have a lot here in America. You know, sometimes I get mad and angry. I'm like, well, fuck this. You know, I deserve to have a better life. I want to be making at least 500 million. Like, I get into that mindset because when I was younger, I wanted to be retired by the time I was 30. I wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't want to have a lot of money and a lot of wealth and a lot of stuff, but I just wanted to have time to do simple freedom things like dance and sing and climb mountains and practice tantric sex. Like, I didn't really, my idea wasn't wealth and managing other people through businesses or any of this stuff that, you know, a lot of people position themselves with a lot of employees. To me, potentially I would do that, I guess, if it was something that was like dance or something that brought some level of joy to people's lives. Because for me, I don't feel a lot of joy in the world, you know? And I struggle with absorbing energies and I get very frustrated, and we got to be careful with what our eyes see and our minds entertain because we can absorb a lot of energy. And if we're absorbing it, that just means that those energies exist within us, you know? That if we're resonating with these different energies, it's part of who we are. But we are the universe. We are collected through the universal aura. And everything that happens on Earth affects us in ways that we don't even understand. Some people understand them differently. But a lot of people don't see the karma of their actions. And karma is good and bad. And oftentimes we just don't have time to sit down and think and perceive. A lot of people just parrot. They don't think things through. I can't remember. I picked that. I picked that up. Recently. I didn't realize that's what the bird meant. Is parrot. People are very impulsive, but we have a limited amount of knowledge. A lot of us. Some people have a lot of knowledge and they use it at their craft or whatever it is that they do. Like building bicycles, you know, dancing, singing, um, whatever, you know, art, painting a picture. This society here in America, it teaches us to be manly as men, but I don't think that I think it's missing the mark because of the negative karma, right? Like, if the true currency on energy on Earth is actually energy, like, you could have all the money in the world, but you could never be satisfied, right? And oftentimes, if you're a man with ego, you're gonna attract a lot of other men with ego who want to build the same thing, but you're also gonna attract, if you're like outwardly narcissistic and you just want to stomp on people, take, you're going to create a lot of resentment against you. And that creates unhappiness. For some people, it creates adrenaline, but really that's just, your body is going to eventually burn out. If you can learn to manage adrenaline within your own body, I mean, there's all these different aspects. Everybody will argue, "Oh, my way is right. I could do this. I could handle this emotion. I can transmute this energy, and I can become what I want to become. And there's no limitations, and I'm going where my mind's going. And sometimes I'll weave, and I'll go this way. I'll look into this energetic path. I'll look into that energetic path. all these different infinite possibilities of who we can be. Some of us get trapped in that, just trying to absorb and understand the world around us. And sometimes it can just suck you in, and then it just sucks off you. It becomes the succubus. Like when life becomes the succubus, when you choose a certain path, but that path ends up becoming the succubus and slowly draining your energy and vitality. It's providing something to you, but you've lost path. You're not even realizing that it's sucking from you. It's energetically giving you something but taking something else from you. It's canceling itself out. It's not even really giving you what you first set out to get in the first place, and then you need more things outside of yourself, and then it becomes all consuming, but you never really are feeling whole. But you're so tired, and then you're distracting yourself from even realizing that that's happening. Because a lot of people push truths that they know aside. They ignore them because they're so focused on a feeling or a goal that they think is the ultimate goal in their finite lifetime, when there's millions and billions of alternative goals that most likely would bring us a hell of a lot more peace, joy, bliss, excitement, exhilaration, whatever it is. Like we're so limited in our capacity as human beings to get stuck in one modality of quantum understanding, quantum fractal understanding. And choosing a dark path, it's, there's a lot of darkness in the world right now, and a lot of people, when they see this darkness and they see people in the spotlight, they almost just want to see them as the opponent, right? And they want to destroy what seems to be destroying them, because it's upsetting. It's angry. It's pressure. It's magnetism. And sometimes we can get sucked into that warped reality, not understanding the consequences. And some people are made for that. Some people are made for that. So make no mistake, there's people that will dedicate their lives for that, and they're very, very good at what they do. And they come out on top after setting things right. And then sometimes those people set things right, and then they became the very monster that they destroyed. But we're just dancing through thoughts. We're just hopping and skipping around, and you could go towards any topic and float, or you could settle, you could ground, whatever you want to call it. Play with elemental solidity and what you're feeling, or it could be evaporative and very expansive and just not as, however you want to feel what you're looking into. But with constant stimulation, oftentimes, you're gonna go through that process of realizing who you are, and what you want. And oftentimes who you are and what you want is dictated on what you feel inside. But there's 100 different things to do in life that can make you feel those same emotions. Some can be at the expense of others, and some can be at the building up of others. Some emotions that we feel give us a sense of empowerment, but later start to destroy the body and decay the body because the vessel can't hold the energy of the magnetism that's coming back around from the outside world. Some are able to hold that energy, others are not. Some people are heartless, some people are heart-filled for themselves and others. Both can be true, both can be false. There's so many multi-dimensions of people's personalities and understandings. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do YouTube though, because I don't get a whole lot of views. I don't get a whole lot of likes. I get some views, but I don't get enough likes. I don't get enough comments that really are like the type of people that I would really want to be connected to. It's like, that's why I told this channel if I had the skills of the ancestors that were forgotten, because my ancestors and everybody's other ancestors weren't able to honor thy ancestors to the sacred knowledge of being able to thrive and live off the land. Although we've been enslaved from time to time and being locked in, no, I don't think that's true. I think we're enslaved by our ignorance. We're enslaved by our ignorance because technically, even with the new wall being built, if you can accumulate money, you can still travel. But travel on your home planet is restricted based upon the monetary system. And there's a raw primal freedom of just being able to live without needing money. But that doesn't really exist anymore because the world's become a prison planet to money. It doesn't offer different alternatives, really. And there's a lot of people that see that and they're mad about it. They don't really need a lot. They don't actually need a lot to be satisfied. What their satisfaction that they're craving is adventure. It's experience. But the money, the money to me it's like chains. If you have money, the chains are like ether. You don't even think about it. You can't even feel it. But if you have a deep desire to travel and to venture and to see different beautiful mountains or hills or whatever it is, and taste different fruits, see different animals, study different animal movements, whatever it is you want to do. That's kind of just what I wanted to do as a child. That's what I was into. Just a very basic, nature-based, driven desire for freedom and movement, which later turned into wanting the car, because the guy with the car had all the bitches, which, I don't think I'd want a lot of bitches, because why do I want someone bitching at me all the time? I'd rather have a lot of goddesses with having no money. If I could accumulate, let's say 100,000 goddesses that I was able to experience over a lifetime, I'd take that over 10 bitches that were bitching at me. If I could have 100,000 temporary experiences with mentally, physically, and spiritually strong women, that, and then feel a part of their essence. I'd much rather have that. And some people would rather just have one. But I like to travel, and I don't think I'll ever find the woman that I'm looking for because, based upon my own personal, and I'm angry about it because I don't believe in myself. I don't believe it's possible. I was talking to a woman that believes it's possible, because anything's possible, but I want to travel, and I want to go places in a world that hates people that are naked. They hate nudity, non-sexual nudity. And just because you're a nudist doesn't mean that you're not sexual. I'm sexual, but I just don't like being sexual for real with people anymore. I mean, I used to be a stripper. I know how to get what people who use disrespectful terms and just look at the woman as just meat is pussy. But there's women out there like that. They're like dick. They need dick, dick. Give me dick, 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 dick. I want all the dicks. Just like there's guys that want pussy, 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 pussy. And then you have people that realize that, some people cannot get emotionally attached and it's just purely physical. And they're picking people, that are healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. There's no problem with that, really, karmically. I don't think it, as long as you're not procreating children that you can't take care of, if you're wise about it. Most people are not, because the thought isn't taught. The what's taught in our society is fear around sexuality, fear around the naked body, because a lot of the issues in society comes from what people haven't been able to master over a long period of time. Even people haven't mastered, full body orgasms without ejaculation, or mastered just putting it in the butt and in the mouth, which is, is pretty nasty, sticking something in someone's booty hole and then in somebody's mouth. It is kind of nasty, but, when you watch pornography, they're sticking it everywhere. They're pissing in people's mouths. It goes deep. But let's just say that these people are doing that, but they're eating all organic. They still have bodies that are stronger and healthier than all the people that are judging them. And they're still getting pleasure. They're just living in pleasure. And then people will hate them. They'll be jealous. They'll shun it. So it's like it's all perception. It's all reality based upon limited perspective and limited reality. And everybody's path is different. And I don't, that's that concept of making love, not war. But the people that love war and the people that allow war to happen believe that, we're destroying the planet, or that resources are finite, or whatever. There's so many different dimensions. War's been happening forever. It's often to take resources. Some people are looking at our actions and they're realizing we are a cancer to the planet. We've destroyed creatures out of our own survival. There's not that many tigers and lions and bears where we're at anymore, and there used to be dinosaurs, supposedly, but we fucking got so good at fucking killing dinosaurs. I don't honestly believe that there was an asteroid. I believe if there was dinosaurs, and I've never been into a museum to actually like steal one of the dinosaur bones to check it out, to see if it actually like was for real a dinosaur bone or some fucking casted mold. I never got that chance. But I think that our ancestors were fucking like these anime creatures, and they just fucking were strategic, and they just took them the fuck out, and they ate good. But that's my perspective. I don't even know if they existed. I would assume that if people had all the time in the world to hone into their bodies and be inward versus outward with all of the stuff that we have to build the body, that would be easily able to kill the fucking T-Rex. Our lives were very simple back then. We didn't have a whole lot to focus on besides hunting or running like 50 miles a day. We were practicing with weapons all day long while hunting. We built all this stuff to protect ourselves from each other, is what we really ended up doing. Because we used to be more connected with nature. We used to like to be outside in the elements, like it felt good. But then we became weak. So then we needed more elements from outside of us to keep ourselves strong and afloat. I went on a 30-day survival course. It was hell on earth, and only because everybody else was constantly moving, I was in pain, extreme pain the whole time, like 7 or 8 pain. But I was going absolutely crazy in my mind, and I didn't survive the 30 days. I was irritable the whole time, and other people were irritable, and I got kicked out. I went into primal mode, because people were just fucking with me there. And even the people that liked me in the beginning were fucking with me. Because I'll trigger a lot of people by, like, if someone, like, our culture is kind of like Eminem dissing motherfuckers. It's like it's built into the culture. And when someone disses me, I fucking come back like a savage, because I don't fucking play that game. I don't fucking play that game. And then they want to be all hating on me after. And so different parts where we kind of connected and they'd respect me, it just didn't fucking work out. And then I went off and I picked up this stick I got over there. It's a really nice fucking boomerang type shit. I just got mad, and I was dead. The whole time I wanted to be hunting, but no, they wanted you to just walk with no food, and like I swear to God, it was 500 fucking calories. There's no fucking way that was fucking 1,500 calories a day. I swear to fucking God that we were eating like fucking 300 calories a day. When I really look back at the rations that they gave us, it had to have been fucking 300 fucking calories. Swear to fucking God. Like, it was such a low amount of rations. It was insane. Like, when I looked at the food that they gave me, I saw that food as like a day's worth of food, and we had to, like, and not eating a whole lot, and we had to stretch it for 7 days after the first 3 days of no food at all, and drinking from non-pure water that we had to fucking use chemicals to fucking kill bacteria, because our bodies aren't strong enough to handle it anymore like they used to be. You know, it was interesting. But shit, I used to drink out of creeks when I was a kid in the city. It didn't even faze me. But Uiskala maista uista 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 uis uis. Oi 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 oi. Yeah, it's I don't know. I forget what I'm talking about, but I forgot what this whole conversation was about right there because I stretched and my freaking calves are locked up, my ankles, everything in my body. Yeah, I just crave that raw movement of the ancestors because that's the only thing that I could the only it's the only thing that could be excitement in my life. And it's honestly just what I'd want to do. I mean, and I would rather be able to travel anywhere on earth without borders and just pick the fucking fruit off the trees than eat this food at the grocery stores because it's all sprayed with pesticides. I mean, we spray pesticides to kill all the little bugs, which have killed the soil because it's killing multiple species of bugs, and that's why the birds are dying because they don't have enough food. Like we're just destroying, we're annihilating the ecosystem, we're annihilating it, and those are like the wild creatures. That's like where we can draw inspiration from to be healthy and to be as strong as we were as our ancestors because our ancestors were inspired by the nature around them. That's why we have all different shapes of our body. We were attracted to different animals and we would dream of them and then we would move like them, whether through dance or combat. So we really have we're consuming ourselves. We are the universe, but we're consuming a part of ourselves by destroying it. We're destroying the strength that our ancestors had, the simplicity, the beauty. And I mean, if I had $1 billion today, I mean, I wouldn't really want to do stem cells, because I know the energetic karma that comes with that, and it's just like taking steroids. Like I took very small amounts of steroids. Like, let's say that you want to go and get huge. Um, I took like maybe a 20% of like a moderate dose of testosterone. But it was you're tricking your chemistry with a chemical that is so limited in affecting the body perfectly. It's man-made. It's not. It's made in a lab. It's you can't. It doesn't build the body perfectly. It disrupts a lot of things, and certain things don't get strong. Other parts do. So you're getting bigger, but you're not actually getting as strong as you would as if you just created those hormones within yourself through ancient knowledge of the ancestors. Our ancestors had more testosterone than someone that was injecting that much testosterone that they're fucking having heart attacks. They're fucking doing backflips into fucking trees, fucking slaying T-Rexes. It's because it's also fucking with your estrogen, which messes with your brain and your connection to the elements, because you're boxing your body and you're boxing your mind, and it's it's fractured. Sometimes they're just selling you a stimulant too. So you're feeling the power. It's like caffeine. It's all in your head. I guarantee half of the little testosterone boosters I was taking, it was just the caffeine in there. It was probably nothing. Um, but who knows? I don't fucking know. But anyway, we're not in touch with our bodies. And to have true self love for the self, you have to honor the temple. And people don't have time to honor the temple because they're trapped in the money matrix. Yeah. At high levels and low levels. Everything is just conceptual magic. Concepts are blocks of creation. It's all conceptual magic. And everybody thinks that their way is the best way. That's why they're doing it. Or they don't and they're just lost. They're just people that move with true confidence. They think their way. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, that's not true. That's a fractured way of thinking. That's very illusionary thought that I have. I've just been surrounded in situations that I remember that were very traumatic. Since I came out of the vagina, I was circumcised. So I have a very warped perception of reality just based upon the energetic vibration of cause and effect of certain situations I was going through. I don't think I didn't put myself through those positions. I didn't choose those positions. I hate it when New Age spiritual people said you chose this body. Well, yes, I did. I am my ancestors, so they chose me, and I am them, so they are right. But yeah, they're right, so I guess they are right. But they're also wrong because there's other people that chose to control the minds and make limitations for people and withhold knowledge on purpose. But then again, I am the universe, so I chose this for myself. I'm going from victim to victor by realizing that everything in the universe is me, and I can hone into it and I can reflect that fractal of the billions and infinite fractals that exist. See, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was stalling or what, but I can be more efficient at choosing my karma. We all can. And we can lead with love for not just ourselves, but for the entire universe. That's where true healing comes from. That's the power of true Reiki healing, is tapping into universal love. That's how you heal yourself without not needing like a new organ or this or that. Because when you love the universe, you understand it within yourself, and you can heal yourself without cuts and snips or pills or whatever. You can literally regenerate like Wolverine. Wolverine is screaming while he's regenerating because he's pushing chi. He's getting cut. I've never seen anybody heal like that. I don't quite yet see how that's possible, but I mean, technically, if his body was strong enough to burn enough fuel that he could absorb from the moisture in the air, like if he could like breathe in a way to absorb moisture from the air and sunlight, it's possible. I think in my mind it's a little far-fetched at the capacity that Wolverine heals, but you know, I'm a very low-level being. I do believe that that is possible. If you could live long enough to learn how to do that, or for the future, enough sperm to eggs, however you want to look at it. So yeah, I mean, I've bought so many things I thought I'd needed or use, but I just don't have the space for it. And then I just don't have enough space, so I live in this space and I have stuff that I traded my life force vitality for, my time, my energy, which I had to buy a lot of food. Like I don't eat the best because I wanted to buy these things that I thought I needed. I could continue with the material path, or I could go to ancient and lose everything. You know, I'm still very minimal. This is like the size of like a third of the size of an apartment in China or Japan, like super small. It's like a little hut, you know. You know, there shouldn't be regulations to force anybody to have to buy a house that's that big because it forces you to chop down trees. I mean, Canada's got it going on. They're replanting so many trees, but only so many trees are going to make it. So they have to replant that many trees before one is cut down. So like, and that's just certain provinces of Canada. Like they actually understand and understand the alchemy of Earth and its cause and effects of, you know, if every tree's cut down, people, yeah, it's gonna be like, we're gonna need to evolve into lizards in order to survive the sun. Like we literally will have to become lizards. If it gets that hot on Earth and we cut down all the trees and all the vegetation starts to die, we will literally have to be like lizards. We can just choose any animal that can, we'll have to take on like those qualities. If it gets so cold on Earth, we'll have to be like polar bears to survive. Not necessarily because we built things, but there's people that can walk in the Arctic butt naked. It's ones that'll go out there for a fucking hour and freeze to death. You know, there's people that can do it that are fat, looking like a whale, and there's people that go out there that are able to move chi through their body and they're yoked like fucking Yuri from fucking Baki Hanma. Was it Baki Hanma? That's how Yuri was able to slay them damn polar bears. Because he was running around naked in the Arctic. Able to keep his heat by warming up the snow and constantly consuming it. Eating meat and chewing it at a Like, the fastest puncher, he was able to do that with his teeth to extract the fluids and juice to run into his body and give him the vital essence to keep going. You know, what's up? We got 5%. Jeez. So, yeah, so anyway, y'all, my friends. It's all love. It's all love, y'all. Everybody does what they do out of love, whether it's selfish or for other people. And what people will realize is that when they're selfish, it's actually not for them. They're actually hurting themselves. And that's what people don't realize. They don't realize the karmic loop. That's the problem. I guess I'll just hold it. So yeah, just the meditations. I had 0 people tuning in. Oh well. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. That's something that upsets me. A true strong being wouldn't need to be private at all. They would just be completely seen by everything and have no fear. That's why I don't put too much focus on fear of privacy. I don't have a lot. I could easily learn to be the best at privacy if my goals were aligned with wanting to accumulate bartering material, money, or electronic bartering code. But I think there's something beautiful about just being naked and bare and then learning to adapt to it. I think there's something beautiful about that. It's simple. Anyway, life is beautiful, y'all. It really is. It can be numbing, it can be depressing, it could be confusing, it could be filled with strife, it can be filled with vengeance, it could be filled with apathy, it could be filled with love, it could be filled with excitement, pleasure, it could be filled with lust, non-intellectual lust. I think intellectual lust is a beautiful thing. I think that's something that people should talk about. It's possible that that's love. What is intellectual lust? Or what is moral intellectual lust? What are morals? Do morals keep your body and your temple at full capacity, full strength? What are the cause and effects of all of our actions? Something to consider. Yeah, you're sacred. The earth is sacred. Get naked, go out there, connect, strengthen your body, strengthen your vessel. That's my biggest advice to anybody on earth from my own personal introspection after not being able to walk, realizing that, and who knows, I honestly have a hunch that there's people on this earth that have been walking around for 1,000 years. It's just a hunch. But, we've all been walking around since the dawn of time. If you look at it from sperm to egg type understanding of procreation, but I know there's beings on this universe that have been around for 100,000 years. I know. know that there's beings that have been around here for infinity. We are. Love. We're love. And we're learning what love is. That's the key. Because love doesn't create karmic implications for ourselves. It doesn't do that. It doesn't make our challenge here or whatever we're trying to create for ourselves or others more difficult. Because it all reflects back to us every time. Whether unconsciously, energetically, through people's nervous systems rejecting us, or and if they reject us and we're around them, it literally decreases the vitality in the cells. You may have mastered this force and it may only have a subtle effect on you, but it's still there. We're all a piece of the whole. We are the whole. We're peering into ourselves to understand how they work and how they operate without a microscope, just with understanding our emotions, our energy in motion. Swasta moistaste bustaste moistile moistaste moistaste moislaia slash moistaste gosh force for And yes, this knowledge is universal. See, plastic is not inherently bad if your body is really hot and can adapt it to the heat, but it's like it does weird things. It does weird things to your body. When little plastic molecules get inside of because you're burning fuel, your body's getting hot enough to burn fuel into energy. So it's like a motor on a molecular structure. So you're literally melting plastic in your body. It's going from solid to liquid inside your body. When it becomes small enough to hit those areas, people want to call people tweakers, this and that, and their body's tweaking, or they want to call them drug addicts. And that's the sad part about life. People that keep going and push themselves very hard, they start to make erratic movements because their nervous system is fried. But if you study what the body's doing, it's doing the same thing as the inner alchemy. It's going, it's like combustion. It's just showing in the body. The body is moving like the microcosm. It's spreading out like a tree. Like you really want to spread out like you want to open up and spread out like a tree. And people are afraid to be in alignment with their body in that moment through bioenergetics because of the chair sitting. The chair sitting is the tragedy to everybody's temple. It has destroyed us. If you don't use it, you lose it. The most important part of your years, you're sitting in a chair. Now children are dying. They're sitting, they're dead, they're dying, they're dying. It's sad. But the earth is dying as well. So it's all just a reflection of everything. I mean, if you go to a jungle paradise where there's lots of life, people are not sitting. They're not sitting. They're moving. They're busy. They're working. They're doing stuff. Their movement. They're like the animals that are moving, living. They're animated. They're alive. Oh, that guy's tweaking. What is he doing? Oh, well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm moving my tongue back and forth because my jawbone is tight and my lymphatic system's backed up. And as you can see, I just instantly created more energy for myself. As you can see, a change in my personality based upon the muscles. What do they do in yoga? They stick their tongue out and they stretch it. Ain't no way I'd win the Cunnilingus World Championship. Ain't no way. But if I did, not right now anyway, I wouldn't guarantee it. But if I could, I wouldn't lick no one's pussy. Just show it on a fucking... I don't think anybody would want me to lick their pussy right now, to be honest, with how fucking sickly I'd become, but... I really wouldn't want to, you know. Maybe I would, but I've become so infatuated with the idea of only licking a woman's pussy who's able to walk the earth butt naked without being locked in a cage or feared or resented or have jealousy casted upon them, that I just don't want to procreate with any woman that can't do that. Who knows? Maybe I'll settle for a fucking small nudist paradise somewhere, like 300 miles away from any grocery store. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I don't even know it because I don't even know if that exists. You know? I haven't mapped out the world good enough to see if that's possible. I just want to be as far away from the modern world as possible so I can reconnect with who I am. I can fortify the temple. You know, and that's what's beautiful about monks. They fortify the temple, they fortify the mind. But some of them are very weak. Like modern monks, I just don't understand them. Like, if you're a monk, why not be under a waterfall with an erection all day long? You know, just walking around in the woods with your kundalini completely activated. Because when you have an erection, your kundalini is completely activated. And I'm angry because they chopped off my dick skin, and my kundalini will never be able to be fully, completely activated. I mean, based upon my potential of what I have now that I'm left with, I got a scar this fucking long on my dick because they chopped that shit, and I used to beat my meat so fucking much as a kid. But my dick, every time I would feel this stretching and this pulling, and it slowly had to stretch apart. It slowly had to stretch apart, and there's the stretch marks all across that cock. And honestly, I could, end up having double the size of a penis. I don't believe that we stop growing at a certain age. I don't believe this. I believe this is a spell based upon a way of living that is just something that we've seen in our current time. You know, Mandingo, you look at the guy, his body, he's huge. He's a huge guy. If his environment was surrounded by different things that allowed the body to continue to grow, our body is restricted to grow based upon our environment and our minds. Anyway, may your days be filled with absolute joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and absolute vitality for all of eternity because you are worthy. Love yourself and love others to not have to deal with too much karma in your life. We're going to deal with karma regardless because we are the universe, and we're going to be dealing with the karma of other people's actions. Even if we're perfectly loving beings, um, just like if we're perfectly evil beings. So there's always something you have to understand how to play with the energies so that you can not go in those directions. But perfectly evil beings aren't perfect. That's the problem. That's I made. See, I'm disillusioned. I'm really disillusioned because evil spelled backwards is live. It is. It is. Evil spelled backwards is live. And devil spelled backwards is lived. Evil is vile. Things can't grow in a vile environment. Things can grow, but more vile grows, which decreases the life force, vitality, and the lifespan. You may be fully feeling good, or your perception of good, which is actually destroying you. But that's about as perfect as it can get. Because you're attracting polarities, you're attracting magnetism. You're attracting subconscious resentment towards yourself. You're not attracting love molecules towards yourself, like true powerful love molecule vibration, which is the anti-aging stem cell. That's why women are able to create in the womb. because they love their babies. You know, babies come out strong and healthy when they're connected with their baby and they love it. Babies come out fucked up when the woman doesn't love itself or it wasn't loved fully. And that's a lot of us. A lot of us came from mothers that weren't loved fully. Something to consider. Something to deeply meditate on for 24 hours straight in a dark cave. Yes. Do it. Imagine that I absorbed all of the personalities in all 8 billion. Imagine that I was just 8 billion. I blew you a kiss. Imagine I was the 8 billion human beings. I blew you a kiss. Imagine I was the 8 billion human beings. And I blew you a kiss. It's not inherently sexual either. Don't think that it's sexual. It's just nurturing. Like a care. I get these things that come to me here and there, but I'm so broken and fractured, I can't keep that energy. Because I'm dealing with my own darkness, from the darkness and the reflection that I see in the world, as we all are. I'm just another you. Not just, though. Because we're not just. We are. Can we be just? Or are we everything? What is just? What is it? Can we weave amongst each other without creating negative karma? Can we do it in an effective way where the earth is strong, where we are strong? Or are we afraid of our nakedness? Are we resentful of our nakedness? Well, of course we are. But I don't resent my nakedness, I resent society for resenting its nakedness. And I have to learn to move past that. I have to learn to feel some other emotion besides resentment. Love y'all.